Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. This is Vlogmas in July 2022, day 26, and today we're going to be looking at the Starlight Starbright quilt and picking some sashing. So if you want to see how I choose the sashing for these blocks behind me, please stay tuned. The Starlight Starbright quilt. If you've been following my channel, this is a quilt that I've been working on for about 9 months, 10 months, something like that. And we made, for the most part, 1 block per month. I know in July there are a couple of blocks that we added, this one and this one, but the quilt is finally together. I love these blocks. Each one has its own unique personality. I love the way that they came together. And today we get to choose, I get to choose some sashing for these blocks. I'm not going to sew them today because I have a few other things that I need to do, and I definitely want to get this video out today. So it's just going to be a process of choosing some fabrics to go in between the blocks. I have pretty much decided that I'm going to do cornerstones. So you'll see the sashing between the blocks and then a little square in the middle. Okay, so I've done that because it's usually easier for me to line up the blocks if they have a cornerstone. If there's just one long piece of sashing, for me that's a little more challenging, so I'm just not going to do that. I have a tentative layout for these blocks to actually go in the quilt. I think that they are going to go this way. There's one change that I want to make. I'm going to swap this block for this block here and this way. All right, and then I'll kind of explain let me explain my process for the way I've chosen to place these blocks. I had already decided that the flower block, since it's not an actual star, would be in the center of this quilt, and all of the other blocks were going to surround it. Now, if you've been following, actually whether or not you've been following, you can see that some of these blocks appear to be darker than the other blocks, and so I put the darkest blocks on the 4 corners. Okay, this is just like my opinion of the darkest blocks because they have like a darkish background. And then after I did that, I tried to make sure that similar stars were not beside each other. So the Freewheeling star and the Friendship star are pretty far apart on the quilt. And then, let's see, this block, the butterfly star, and this block, the variable star, they're kind of away from each other as well. Even though this block on Eliza's star is similar, having that open center square makes them look like different blocks, okay? Also, the two-way star and the ribbon tail star are not right beside each other. They just have a little bit of space between them, okay? So that's kind of my reasoning for the way that I put them together. I swapped these because I felt like this background was too light to be on the outside edge over here. It's still on the outside edge. I don't know. It's just my own personal preference for why I've chosen to put them there. And I'm pretty happy with this layout. So I am gonna take a picture of this so that I have it later when I'm actually ready to stitch the blocks. And you can lay them out this way, you know, or you can choose a different way. I think it would be really cool if you did it in the order of the blocks that we made. I think that would be fine too. I just prefer to have this flower block in the center. Okay, so let's talk about the sashing. The way that I'm going to audition my sashing fabrics is I'm going to put them on the board behind some of these blocks. And I think the blocks that I'm going to choose are I can't decide if I want to do the top 4 here or the bottom 4 here. You know, I'm going to do 4 of them. I just haven't decided which 4 I want to do. but I'm gonna put my fabrics behind those 4 blocks, and then we'll see what works. Okay, let's go over the fabrics that I've chosen to audition, and then there's one more option at the end that we'll talk about as well. So I've chosen 4 blocks that I'm going to use to compare my possible sashing fabrics with. Again, I'm going to have sashing and cornerstones, but I won't audition any cornerstones. I'm just looking basically right now for a regular background. Okay, I decided that I'm gonna shop my stash for a sashing fabric instead of purchasing new. And so I looked, because the main thing is to make sure that I'm gonna have enough fabric. If I do a 2.5 inch sashing, which means it would finish at 2 inches, I would need about 15 inches, and then more if I want to do it a little bit wider, because I might go as wide as 3 or 3.5 inches unfinished. And so I wanted to make sure that I have enough fabric. So that is criteria number 1. Is there going to be enough fabric to do it? The other thing that I thought about as I looked at the fabrics that I actually had enough of, which there are not a lot. I apparently work in small pieces of fabric, or I cut, like when I get a yard of fabric, I cut it down fairly quickly, I guess. I don't know. I just didn't really have a lot of different fabrics that I thought it would be okay to work with. So I only have 3 here, and then I have a 4th option that I will show you. I have not done this step at all. I don't know what to expect. And if you follow my other videos, like my t-shirt quilt video, I was always surprised at what the outcome was. Now for these, another criteria, I guess, is that it couldn't be the background fabric. So I had a lot of, because I just bought this this fabric, but since it's the background of the center flower, I don't really want to do that. And there are ways around it. I could work around it, but I'm not sure yet what I'll do. I may put it up anyway and just see, but I don't know yet. So these are the 3 that I've picked. Actually, there are 4, because I have this gray up here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. So one of them is something that I haven't used yet. This is one I just got when I went down to my hometown a couple weeks ago. It's that black scroll. Let me see if it has a name on it. No. So let me show you here. And I really like it. I think it could be pretty striking on this quilt. My only concern is that I'm not sure what I'm going to do for a border yet. So like, I don't know if I want to do, if I have a preference for red sashing and then a gray background, gray and a black border. I don't really know yet. So I'm just going to pick the sashing first, and then we'll kind of see. So I want to try out this black. And then I have this black. It has the gold in it. It's the same as what's in the center flower. And I don't mind using it if it works, because it's in the center of a block. I think it could be really nice in the back. So, you know, I'm willing to try it out and just see how it feels or how it looks. This last one, I didn't use it in any of the, in the blocks. And I'm just interested to see how it's gonna play. It's actually a burgundy with some gold specks. Let me bring it up to the camera. And so I bought this for another project like a year ago, and I don't even think I've cut it. And if I have, it was just like a really little bit. So this could be a contender, I just don't know. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna start with one of these at random. I don't even know which one I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pull the blocks down and put it up behind it so that we can see what it looks like. I think let's go ahead and start with this black, just to see how it plays. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, so here is the black, and I don't love it. And I looked through the camera at it to really see, you know, how the fabrics play. And I feel like the black kind of, I don't know, like it does something weird. I don't know if it like draws the colors back from you, or I don't feel like it pulls the colors out. I don't feel like the blocks pop at all. Even this block, which you would think would pop a little more, to me it doesn't have any pop. That black, to me, it takes away from it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this fabric. I like this method because everything sticks to the wall. I don't have any pins in here at all, and it's really cool. I don't really love this as a sashing. Okay, so I want to do the, I think I'll just do this part on camera. I want to try this other black one and see if it's the same or if it's a little different, because I don't know. I just want to see if it plays a little bit differently from this black. And again, I'm not sure what I want to do for a border. I know that this quilt is going to need a border. I'm just not sure how I want to do that yet. If I want to do a black stop border and then a red outer border, I really have no idea. And then if I look at what fabrics I actually have, I may have to go to the quilt shop and get something. And do I really want to do that, or do I just want to shop my stash and see what I can do? All right, so I'm going to put the same 4 blocks up here and just see how they play. Okay, and I'll give myself a little time to check it out behind the camera, and that'll give you a second to look at it as well. Okay, might have to put a pin in this one to keep it up here. So, okay, and this one here. And this one. Uh-oh. Let's get some pins. I don't know why these won't stay, but it's all right. And I'm trying to sort of match the width of the sashing with what I'm thinking. So we'll see how it works. Okay, and then one more block. Where you go? All right, I'm gonna go take a look behind the camera. Okay. And just from that peek, I feel the same way that I felt about the other one. I feel like it draws the blocks back. It doesn't accent them at all. There's no pop. So it doesn't look like black is gonna be a good sashing fabric for these blocks, and that's okay. At least I tried it out before I sewed it together. So I have one more solid option. I kind of would like to try this gray, but I know that this block won't look right with the gray. So let me go to this burgundy. And this fabric is a little bit darker than the other fabric. So I'm interested to see what happens with it, because I might have some fabrics that are this hue, but I don't think I do. I think it's a little bit different from everything else that we have in the quilt. So okay, and I got a lot of this, like 2 yards of it or something. It's a lot. So I'm going to pin this one up here. And if you're, wait a minute. If your preference is different from mine, that's perfectly fine. Let me know in the comments and we can talk about it, and I'd love to know what you think. Okay, I'm a little nervous about this one because I just don't know what to expect. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare to pin these. I sort of already know what I think about this, and I don't like it, but I want to look through the camera, because there may be something that I can't see. Even with this, I think it's important to go through, even if I think I'm gonna hate it, and I sort of think I'm gonna hate it, to just try it out and see how I feel about it before I say no. And I still might say no. Okay. All right, go take a look at the camera, but I'm kind of rolling my eyes. Okay, so this is how I feel about it. This is the best one so far, but it's still pretty bad. So, it's a no. I have one more idea. Well, I have one more idea that I want to try. Because actually there may be two more ideas. Well, no. There's one more thing I want to try. I'm going to take all this down and set it up, and then show you another idea. Nothing is written in stone. I really have no idea what I'm going to do, but this is just one other thing that I thought of. So I'm going to set it up, and I'll be right back. This is a really rough look right now, and I know it is, but I want to kind of talk you through what I decided to do, or what I think I'm going to do. Keep in mind that between all of the sashing strips is going to be a cornerstone, either gray or black. I haven't decided. I'm sort of leaning towards black, but we'll see. What I did is I took the fabrics that are already in the quilt, are already in one of the blocks, that I have enough of, that I have something that's long enough to get, say, a 3-inch strip, and I just kind of place them on here. Some of them I'll be able to get more than one 3-inch strip, like this red and gold here, this like this mottled, or I don't even know how to describe it. And then even this heart may be able to get more than one more than one strip. But I'm gonna but I'll have enough to do all of the sashing by combining all of these fabrics. And I like when I framed everything in red, I feel like the blocks pop just a little bit. We can't really see over here on this side because of the design wall, because that background is sort of the same color, but you can still get a nice effect. Okay, so now at least I have somewhat of a plan that I can work from. I wasn't sure how I would incorporate these and be able to shop from my stash. So that was the big thing. If I can shop from my stash, that would be really nice to use up some of this stuff. Also, I don't have a lot of red scraps, so this is nice to add a few red scraps to my collection. Then I get to, after I do this part, after I do the sashing and the cornerstones, I get to think a little bit about borders and how I want to handle those. So this is a great process. If you have a design wall, please take advantage of it to do things like this. You saw today that I had three fabrics that didn't work for me at all, and I'm going to have to piece my sashings together, which is perfectly fine. Okay, I'm trying to think. Oh, I get to do this same process with my blue quilt, my blue Starlight Starbright blocks, and I have to do it either way. Let me know in the comments if you're interested to see what I come up with for those blocks on camera. I like to think that I have more larger pieces of fabric that I can shop my stash, but I really don't know until I start to look. And so it could be a process similar to this. It could be something completely different. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in seeing that. Thank you guys so much for everybody who's joined me on this Starlight Starbright journey. If you're making the quilt, if you want to make the quilt, I would love to see it. I know at least one person has made every block, and sometimes she beat me making the blocks and putting up the videos. So I'm encouraged to see what she comes up with in her whole quilt. Let me know if you're interested. And again, the links to all of these blogs and the directions to all these blocks are on my blog. So you can check that out. It's going to be in the description for you. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, please leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!